so you don't get cold.
You're still gonna get me wet. I'm still gonna get wet.
You're not.
I'm still gonna get wet.
But don't look at me. Don't look at me. Okay, you ready? Don't look at me. Go, go, go.
Fine.
Okay. Don't look at me.
We failed.
So Dia is going to be home in about maybe an hour or so, and she usually very hungry when she finishes at 7 p.m. so I've been tasked to make her some good dinner. So I'm going to give it my best shot. Okay, we'll see how we go. I'm doing this right? Yeah. Yeah. So I've had a chance to talk to a lot of very old people, and I've had the chance as a nurse to talk to many people who are like at the ends of their lives. They're literally going to be dying in the next hour or the next day or two, and I've had the privilege of having conversations with those people and just let them tell their story, and that's all part of the holistic sort of care model that modern times is sort of adapting in terms of nursing now. It's like how can we let people really experience the end of their life the best way possible, and then sharing their stories is an excellent strategy. So when you ask these guys, or when they tell you, like, you know, what are the things that are actually important in life from their perspective as someone who's about to pass away, and they know they are, and they're sort of reasonably settled with that, what were the important things in life? And they never say, oh, I wish I had worked more and like earned more money. Sometimes they wish they had more money to do more things, but they never say, oh, I wish I could have had my job for longer and worked harder and done overtime and got more money. They also never say things like, oh, I wish I bought more houses and more properties and had more investments. Or, oh, I wish I could have had that Lamborghini that I always wanted all my life. You know, material things like that. So what are the things that they do say that were important to them and they just wish they could have more time doing? Number one is always, I wish I could have more time with my family, with my grandkids, with my kids, with my brothers and sisters and my parents, whoever. I wish that I had more time to spend with them, and I wish that I had spent more time with them rather than go to work, etc. So another thing that people say, these people say is, I wish I'd taken the time to travel more, or gone to this certain location, or seen the world, or seen these beautiful things that are happening around the world. They wish they had challenged themselves more to do those things they were too scared to do, or thought that they might do later but never got around to, all those crazy adventures. And the last thing I see or I hear from these people is, I wish that I hadn't held that grudge against that person. I wish I had just forgiven them and moved on. I wish that I still didn't have grudges against certain people, and that I had just forgotten it and moved on, because it just doesn't matter about these grudges or these things that they perceive, things that they did to offend you. It just doesn't matter in the end. And listening to these people and letting them tell their stories is a fascinating insight into life, because when, of course, we're brought up through high school, through university, we're taught to be good at everything and achieve lots and get a degree and get a good job and get married and have kids and make lots of money and have a great car and all these sort of things, and they're like, that is what it is to be successful, and that it is to what it is to be happy. And you look on television, there's advertisements with these beautiful people wearing beautiful makeup, wearing expensive clothing, driving expensive cars, and they're telling you about how, like, this is how you be happy. And it creates this sense of sort of dissatisfaction with everyone around you who's watching these advertisements and taught to live that way, because they've never reached what they wanted to reach. And it turns out that in the end, just before you die, you realize, or even earlier than that, you realize that none of that stuff is actually important. That apparently what they have said is that what's important is spending time with your family, not wasting your time working as much as possible, doing those scary things that you always thought about doing and you never did, and forgiving the people who you feel wronged you. So with that in mind, here are my 3 things that might be some really good guides to, I guess, a good life. I'm not an expert on life. I'm not a life coach. In fact, I've made some pretty crappy decisions in my life. I'm a 36-year-old who's still trying to just figure it all out. But I enjoy sharing what I've learned, I guess. And it's up to you if you want to be like, yeah, okay, that sounds good. Or it's like, whatever, Dave, just, I don't care. You're full of it, whatever. I'm like, yep, that's cool. I'm not offended at all. Number 1. One of the biggest things that's said about the millennials, or the people born after the 2000s, is they're very entitled. This word entitled is being spread around all over the place to describe this sort of generation that is constantly upset with whatever they're given, or they're dissatisfied with whatever they're given, even though that stuff didn't even exist ages ago. Dissatisfied with their phone that doesn't have a micro SD slot, or they're dissatisfied with their iPad because it keeps crashing all the time, or they're dissatisfied with the latest game that come out because it's not compatible with their video card. All these sort of things which makes them rage on the internet and just send hate mail to each other and things like this. What you need to learn as number 1 rule is to be grateful. Whether it's something as small as your phone battery doesn't work anymore, or whether it's something as big as my father just got cancer and he's only got a few months to live, you've always got to be in the mindset of, I am grateful. I am grateful for what I have been given, even the little things that I've been given in life, whatever they may be. I am grateful to wake up in the morning, that the sun is shining, and that an earthquake hasn't happened and wiped out our population. I'm grateful that a flood hasn't wiped out our house. I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to have a job and earn money, that I have parents who are reasonably normal. Whatever it is that you think is good in your life, think of that and be grateful for them. Number 2, regardless of your financial goals, whether you're those amazing people who somehow save all this money just for years and years and years and build up these awesome investment portfolios, or build up houses and buy houses and want to own 10 houses by the time they're 50 and stuff like that, I don't think, do that. I don't think that's a bad thing. But what I'm saying is, don't let that stop you from having a good life. If you've always dreamed of going to Thailand, don't wait until you're 50 to go to Thailand, because you could be dead next week. I know that sounds morbid, but it's actually the truth, and I actually see it at work almost every day. Do the things that scare you and do them now. Number 3, make contact with the people in your life and that you love often, I guess. Don't have parents who are perfectly normal and did a reasonable job of raising you and then just not speak to them for like 3 years because you just can't be bothered. Like a friend or your brother or your sister did something wrong by you recently, and you're just like, you know what, I'm not even going to talk to you for a few months, and that it ends up turning into like a year or 2 years or whatever. Forgive them in your mind. Understand that nobody's perfect. Everyone has their flaws, and that you've definitely done something wrong in the past as well. and try to maintain contact with them. And that contact might be really uncomfortable. You might be calling them going like, hey, I don't know, I have no idea what to say to you, but hey, I'm just saying hello on the phone. At least you've made contact, and then make contact again. And you'll find that with more communication, bad things just go away and good thing happens. Communication is awesome. And you'll find that the worst and most angry communication, even though at the time sucks, turns into something incredibly positive over time. In fact, some of the best friendships that I've had have started with people I really don't like and I thought they're idiots. And then by just keep communicating with them or having to see them at work or whatever, they become some of my closest friends. And there are other people who straight off the bat, they're like, hey, and they're the nicest people on the planet. You're like, wow, they're so amazing. And they turned into the most deceitful, non-trustworthy, evil people I've ever met. If there's anything in life that you think is important, why don't you write down in the comments below and let us know, and I can talk about it maybe in another video. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Welcome home, baby.
Hey, thanks.
Welcome home.
Thank you.
You want to see dinner?
Yes, I'd love to see dinner. Looks good.
Yay. You like?
Yes, I love. I like this
Awesome.
too.
Yes.
That is yummy.